All right, so we're going to talk about where Twitter is going and why you should care. So a couple big updates here. We talked about this again on the reactions series, but we talked about the new CEO that they hired, and I believe her name is pronounced Linda Vassarino, something like that, Vaccarino maybe. And so she was the ad chief at NBC. She's super connected. So
NBC
they have a new
Universal.
CEO. What's that?
Yeah, she was the ad chief at NBC Universal.
Correct. So new CEO. Number two, Twitter, when Elon bought Twitter, even in the early days, he said that he wanted to make it an everything app. So meaning that he wants to call it X. Even when he made this new hire announcement today, he said, hey, we brought a new CEO for X/Twitter. I fully believe he's going to transition it towards X. And there's just a lot of things going on with Twitter right now. Tucker Carlson moving to Twitter as well after getting fired by Fox. And he's got a big platform there. In this episode, we're going to talk about where we think it's going.
And Elon, he stated he is going to remain the CTO and lead our product, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be his new role at X or Twitter.
Correct.
While still working on Tesla and while still working on SpaceX.
Where do we think it's going?
Where I think it's going is it's going to be, I think he's trying to do a little bit of everything. And I don't think it's going to be an everything app. I think he's going to learn really quickly what works and what it doesn't work well with. Compared to most other social networks, I'm assuming you agree with this, Eric, Twitter offers a lot more meaningful and real conversations when it comes to mental stimulation versus a lot of the other social networks. Would you agree with that? At least I experienced that from Twitter.
Say that again. You think Twitter offers more stimulation or Instagram?
No, Twitter offers more mental stimulation. Like it's more insightful.
Oh, yeah. I was just talking about this at lunch with a friend. I was like, look, Twitter to me is where smart people go to hang out. And if you can't articulate yourself, you don't get to grow on Twitter unless you're like the OnlyFans people, and they tend to do well with growing their audiences on Twitter. So no knock on them.
So with that in mind, I think it's going to be the place for media sharing knowledge and doing all things quote unquote intellectual. Imagine you right now getting your news. And yes, I know you can get latest news updates from Twitter, but I'm talking about people are watching the news to figure out what's happening in the day. And I know you can get the quick clips from Twitter, but imagine more people doing what Tucker Carlson is doing, in which they're just streaming their quote unquote media and shows on Twitter. Imagine classrooms and teachers streaming on Twitter and educating their audience and then interacting with them and answering their questions. I think Twitter is going to be the place where people go for intellectual related conversations, and that's where it's going to boom. I don't see it really booming for things like crypto. Yes, I know a lot of people use or discuss crypto on Twitter, but I don't see it as a place where people go and buy and sell crypto. That's not what we're used to. It's just, it doesn't matter if Google offers you the option to buy products on Google. At least in the United States, we're used to going to Amazon to buy products. It's hard to change our habits.
I think one thing I'll say is Elon will experiment, to your point earlier, and he's trying a lot of different things right now. So the ability to send encrypted DMs, like that is in alpha right now, I believe. And the ability for creators to write 10,000 word tweets, and so it's no longer just constrained, and to be able to upload the video. So he's trying a lot of different things right now, creator subscriptions and all that, and he's going to look at the data and see what sticks. He's admitted where he's been wrong. He's been wrong in a couple cases, but he's also been right, and there's a lot of things that worked out for him. And so what I would say is his version of the everything app might not be what he thinks, because here's the thing. When it comes to building a product or building a service, usually what you think ends up not being the thing that you end up with at the end of the day, because you're really just iterating off of the data and you're iterating off of customer feedback. And so I do believe there's going to be a handful of other features. I don't think it's going to be like a WeChat, which is what I think his original vision was. But to Neil's point, I think at the end of the day, we have our habits ingrained, and I don't think we've gone to anything to use it as an everything app. But I will say, let's just do a quick poll real quick. Do you think Twitter has gotten better since he took over, or worse?
I'll give you a two-part answer. First part answer is Twitter reach has gotten worse. Twitter overall has gotten better.
Interesting. So you think your reach has gone down?
Uh-huh. And others have stated that too. Mark Cuban stated something. He tweeted at Elon Musk about it. In an interview, I also saw Elon Musk saying, yeah, it wasn't as good as it used to be, and he's looking into it. I think that'll get fixed over time. But from a marketing standpoint, the reach isn't as good as it used to be. Overall, I do think the platform is better, though, and is making the right moves.
I think, yeah, they're making the right moves. I think the CEO hire is a great one. We'll see. I hope that one pans out. The Tucker Carlson move, where after he got fired, he's like, screw it. Twitter is the public town square. I trust it. It's the last place I can go to. There's no way I'm going to be censored by whoever it is that I'm working for. I'm not going to report to the man anymore. And we're going to see a lot more of that. So I think if you want to build your own, you want to build your audience independently, and you want to be your own kind of media channel, I think Twitter is the place to go to. And I get a lot smarter when I go to Twitter. I ignore a lot of the noise. I just make lists and I follow those lists, and I get a lot smarter. And I share stuff with Neil. I share stuff with my team as well. And I just think that where they lost their way the last couple of years, they got really bloated as a company, and thus they slowed down a little bit and rested on their laurels. And now with the drastic changes that Elon's made, I think the product direction is going in the right way. Anything else, Neil?
No, like I said, I overall think it's turning into a better social network, and I'll be spending more time on Twitter.
That's saying a lot, because Neil has been very passive with Twitter for the last couple of years. So
I think in the next year, Twitter is going to really balloon up in a good way, become more popular. And if you're not on it right now, I think you're going to miss out.
That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, subscribe. It helps us grow.